And good evening, everyone. First of all, let me give you some context on the challenge my team and I worked on during the last 8 weeks. So instruction manuals or step-by-step guides are something useful and necessary in a variety of tasks, from the most basic ones to more complex ones. And this applies even more in a business scenario. Why is that? Because in business scenarios, you can have established processes and protocols that are also complex. And you may also have rotating staff and a very constant turnover. So you usually have to new employees that have to learn the same job very often. And so instruction manuals in these cases can guarantee consistency, efficiency, and agility, so they speed up the process and essentially help you in the process. So why am I telling you about this? Because our sponsor creates these, let's call it, interactive manuals that are an easy way for professionals to learn and execute processes that are repeated several times within a company. But how do they do so? They start from recording an interview with a domain expert. So they want to create a manual on a certain topic, they interview the expert, and they record this interview to later on be able to extract the information from the interview. They extract all the information that they need to create then the interactive instruction manual. Where is the bottleneck, let's say, here in this process? It's in the manual information extraction, because on average, for example, it takes at least 3 hours for an engineer to go over the recording and extract all the information required. So it's a time-consuming process, it's a repetitive process, and it requires expertise and a lot of manual human effort. So this translates into a loss of revenue and also in human resources, because again, you have to employ at least one person to do this job. So the question is, how can we optimize the process? We start from the recording, so the interview of the domain expert, and we have to end up with the interactive manual. In between, we have our solution, which is an AI-based information extraction pipeline, which comprises a transcription of the interview. So we have as an input essentially conversational data. And we use this data with a large language model, an AI model, that can digest this data, this information, and extract in an automated way the process information and the steps that we have to perform for this process. And our output is a structured output, a JSON file to be precise, that can be mapped easily into an interactive manual with an API call. So let me now leave the stage to Lorenzo, one of my teammates, that is gonna give you an example of the process and go more in detail with the steps that we worked on.
Thank you, Andrea, and hi, everybody. So we are interested in building these instruction manuals using large language models. This is a very complex problem, so we have decided to divide it into 2 different parts. The first part is to obtain some general information about the process. And we can do that by simply prompting our large language model. So we are able to obtain some information like title, some description, and something about the authors. We are also interested in extracting the tasks needed to accomplish the whole process. And this problem is really complex, and a large language model suffers of an issue called hallucination, and which practically means that they tend to make things up. And to address this issue, we divided this part into 2 different sections. The first one is to only generate task titles. So we prompt our large language model and generate task title. So regarding the example in this slide, so making an Amazon purchase, we obtain 5 different tasks. The first one is the open the Amazon website and login. The second one, search for the product, and so on until the last one, which is the submit the purchase. But we are also interested in have a detailed description of each task. To do so, we use multiple calls to our large language model, and we iterate this process through each task title that we have obtained in the previous step. And we also use an extraction framework to help our large language model not to hallucinate. So we generate a description for the first task. Then we proceed with the second task, and so on for all of them. As you can see, for each task, we have 3 different fields. The first one is the overview, which is an high-level description of the task. Then we have some notes, and at the end we have the steps, which are the practical and technical step on how to accomplish that task. So what we were able to obtain successfully is to generate an instruction manual, which contains 2 different sections. The first one is the one containing some general information about the process, and the second one is the one describing the tasks and all the steps needed to accomplish it. So, what are the impact of for our sponsor? Principally 2. The first one is that they significantly reduce the generation time for their instruction manuals. So before that, they usually takes more than 3 hours for each transcript, while it now takes only 2 or 3 minutes with our pipeline. And they also increase the quality of their instruction manuals because they obtain consistency, because all of their instruction manuals are now generated by only one pipeline and not by different persons working on different manuals. And also people have much more time to focus on the quality of them, because they only have to check the output of our pipeline. So this is the team I work with, and Andrea Ahmad worked in the first part of this pipeline, and Raima and me worked on the second one. Thank you, everybody.
Is this working? Okay. Thank you so much, Lorenzo, for that wonderful presentation. So, ciao a tutti. Good evening. I, for one, never leave a chance to polish my Italian skills, especially in front of a crowd. I'm Vijayashree, as you saw earlier, Vij. I am a machine learning scientist at PySchool, and I was coaching these challenges. I'm here to tell you some interesting things about the challenge, because we as coaches at PySchool give you a bird's eye view of the challenge so that you understand how we run, challenges here. Two interesting things was that this team was spread all over the globe, and it's crazy, but we somehow managed to interact pretty seamlessly throughout the entire process. The second was that, LLMs are all the rage now. So this problem in particular was so complex, we had to split the team of 4 into separate teams of 2. Now, with having separate teams, you always wonder, how are they going to interact? Are they going to code separately? How is this all going to come together? But I'm so happy to say that all of the 4 team members, including the 2 could not be here, were, interacted so well, and we came together and delivered one solution as a team. So congratulations, all of you. And in conclusion, I would like to invite Prakhar to deliver the next pitch.